Hello world, Dave here, you may call me Modon Joe. Welcome back to Let's Play Cthulhu Saves the World, and let's head into that scary ghost forest that they keep warning us about. Yeah, Town of Providence. Yeah, we have to make our way to the Town of Providence. I wish you'd say something different. Yeah, I mean, that statue looks awful familiar, so you'd think they would be... Yeah, we gotta deal with mad cultists here and a bunch of other crazy stuff in the forest. A lot of scary foresty things, witch doctors. Oh, they got a whole mess of unique and interesting enemies here, I gotta admit. Well, although, I wish they had a little more variety, but oh well, yeah, get what you can ask for. Let's just go search for treasure, though. First, there's not much up here, but we did see something else soon. But we got some new enemies to deal with. Mist wolves, specters, unicorns. All the mist enemies will be weak to fire, just to lay that out on the head. Specters, also weak to fire. Unicorn, I don't believe they have any specific weaknesses, but come on, they're unicorns! I have no idea where to go from that. I thought I had something interesting, but oh well, I guess we're just gonna have to deal with even when the unicorns are insane, they don't look violent at all. They just look, I don't know, they look like Kiss fans to me. But overall, none of these enemies are particularly strong. The wolves do hit hard, but outside of that, you really don't have to worry too much about the unicorn. Just the wolves. We will be seeing more wolves much later. Do keep them in mind. They can be in pain when you have to deal 20,000 damage worth to kill one of them. Probably an exaggeration. Probably. And we got more new enemies, mist snakes and banshees. The banshees are really annoying. They have Siren's Call, which can completely mess up your game plan if you're hoping to wipe everything out in one turn. There's a very good chance that, well, that's not going to happen because they're going to stun on one of your party members, and your perfectly laid out plan will just go to waste, as I've experienced one too many times. Say that prevented me from killing those snakes. They're a nuisance, but they aren't something that you really should be too bothered by. Just, you can take them out with, you can take out all the enemies with relative ease outside of that. Alright then, I'm actually surprised at Cthulhu's speed. Normally he kind of plods along a bit after a little while. I mean, I've always end up raising him to be a slow bruiser. Alright, we got another enemy, Chip Horde. Wow, that's a lot of squirrels. A lot of squirrels, I gotta tell you that much. I wonder how many squirrels there are. Well, if you got enough for 650, geez Louise, you'd think there must be a squirrel nest nearby, and with Earthbound, or... I'm making a magic joke. I can't believe I just made a Magic the Gathering joke. Although, I strongly suspect that's where he got the idea for a giant mob of squirrels as enemies. He actually suggests a card game in the commentary, but I can't think of too many card games where squirrels were a common enemy type. I mean, I played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! I know Nimble Momonga was originally Flying Squirrel. I know there's probably like a Squirrel Girl card in the Marvel Versus, but there are a lot of ways to make squirrel tokens in Magic. So, and that's my guess where he got the inspiration for an enemy called Chip Horde. Just my take on it. Just my take on it. He never actually explicitly says it, but I don't know. And we got some more new enemies. We finally get to see these damn cultists that worship Cthulhu. Hey, you can kind of make out his mug and the mug and the... No, I'm just cheesing. Overall, though, the cultists aren't too much to worry about. They have a lot of HP, but they're nothing fancy. We can deal with them all the same. I gotta tell you, it's easy to get lost in this dungeon, although, as you can see here, all the paths in this first room of the dungeon, well, first real room, I don't count that introductory hallway, they all pretty much converge together, so it's really just trying to find that. There's only one treasure chest before the last split, where we make our way to the next section. So, you know, it's really just finding that one split and then just making our way to the exit. I wish I'd realized that when I was actually recording this, though. Whoops. Hindsight is 20/20. Anyway, we get a bullwhip, which is a pretty decent weapon upgrade for October. There, it removes the chance to stun, but it makes her able to hit an entire group of enemies, which is, you know, pretty damn handy. I actually will give it the benefit of the doubt there. It's not too shabby, I say. Not too shabby to be able to hit a large group with your physical attacks. Too bad her physical attacks typically suck. Anyway, after that fight, October leveled up and learned, I believe it was Curse, which is, well, we had a chance to learn that with Cthulhu earlier, but now we get to learn it with October. She could have also learned a Weaken spell, which reduces a group of enemies' resistances, but she needs some boss killing power. Anyway, after that, Sharp learned after that last battle, Sharp learned Wind Strike, which is, well, it's Ice Strike or Fire Strike, but Wind type. Do I really need to explain? Anyway, there's actually a few enemies in here that are probably weak, where the elemental differences will matter, so... Like these guys, Zappers! We also have Audrey 2 here. Great, Little Shop of Horrors reference. Well. But anyway, the Zappers are weak to ice, and I think fire. They are resistant to wind, so do not use Wind Strike against them. The Audrey 2s are weak to fire. Just torch them like any other enemies. Just have October torch them. They're nothing to be worried about there. And overall, it's just one easy fight at one. These enemies do. I mean, this, like I said, they backload the hard enemies, and this is where the harder enemies start to show themselves. And at least, I think we must be 10 fights in. How many of you are keeping track? I don't once I actually stop recording. Excuse me. Anyway, I think we want to go to the left first, because going to the right will just take us to the next section. Going to the left will give us a 1-up, which, not something that we want to use, but it's handy to have. So, let's just continue our way into the next part of the dungeon, where we'll find some new things, some old things, nothing fancy. 17 battles left, and I'd say that's... This dungeon is quite on the long side, especially, and it's easy to get lost if you're looking for all the treasure, as I've learned the hard way, and thank God for the magic of editing. You will not have to experience that the same way I did, thankfully. Anyway, we'll just get... Anyway, for the most part, we want to go left, right? No, we want to go around this bend first, to get to that chest. In an astral tunic, which, not the greatest armor. It's a side grade from the hero tunic. We definitely should be getting rid of that zombie tunic next time we get, but it's a side grade. The speed bonus is really quite handy, but especially when you're just dealing with regular average Joe enemies, but against boss, I probably would want the little extra defense. Unless it's a boss that uses a lot of magic, because Astral Tunic actually has more magic defense than the Hero's Tunic, which is odd, but whatever. I do not design these items. Anyway, we got a new enemy to deal with, Witch Doctor. These guys they're nothing fancy. They can curse you to reduce your defenses, but outside of that, nothing fancy. They have some resistance to magic, but overall, you really don't need to worry too much about them. Just wipe them out like you would with any... just deal with them like you would deal with any other enemy. And that Astral Tunic speed is really starting to shine there, as it lets me get off much quicker nightfalls. And, hey, making the enemies more vulnerable to damage faster, I could go for that any day of the week. Anyway, we want to head up here. The rocks can kind of get in the way to pick up some gold. Nothing fancy, but, you know, it's better than, well, it's better than nothing. Because, when you have no income, just finding a little bit of income in the middle of the street is preferable. Do not ask why I know that. Do not. Well, then again, I guess you figure if I'm making videos for YouTube. Alright, just continue our way up and around, down. And down here will get us to our last chest in this area, 4 potions. Nothing spectacular, but we will probably need them in the future. Yeah, so close to the exit. Don't you hate when that happens, folks? Don't you just hate when that happens? I mean, I just can't believe that. I would imagine if this game actually did not have that random encounters counter, that would piss me off to no end. But it does. And you know, it's a nice little system. I have to applaud them for thinking outside the box, albeit this game wasn't the first one to have it. It was another game by Zeboid Games. Like I said, I rag on Breath of Death 7 a lot, but this game kind of that game kind of lays the foundation for a lot of the things that Cthulhu Saves the World does right, like the random encounters counter, the team attacks, the ramping up the fast-paced battles. Anyway, after that battle, Umi learned Stun Strike, which stuns enemies. It's pretty damn handy, but unfortunately, it does not, unlike Siren's Call, it does not get past stun immunity. But anyway, we get a multi-blade for Sharp. The +1 hit is absolutely critical. It's probably the reason you would take it over the Granite Blade, in my opinion. I mean, seriously, even if it does look weaker than the Sharp Blade, it's not. It's not. It will do so much. Sharp will be doing so much more damage to just his physical attack now. He will tear through bosses with being able to deal 3 hits with, well, I'm counting the buff that he learned earlier, the self-buff. But, this is good times are gonna be ahead, and I tell you that much. Good times are gonna be ahead. Anyway, we happen to have the restore point right there, which is so we must be near the end. That said, we found most of the we're close to finding most. I think we found almost all the treasure. There might be one. I think there's one piece down here I am missing somewhere. Anyway, no wait, it was, yeah, like I said, I got lost pretty damn easily, but yeah, I'm ashamed to admit how lost I got. Anyway, I thought it was there. Yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just expecting something very soon. I'm expecting to find that treasure very soon. I believe it's right... No? Yeah, well, let's just cue up the elevator music. There we go, there's that last thing. Nice little willpower buff to Cthulhu there. That took a lot longer than I was expecting. I probably honestly should have gone and done that and queued up the music sooner. Oh well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, don't go apeshit crazy over the smallest mistakes. I'm Dave, take care, and know that is not a hint of what's to come. Trust me.